everyone. This is Coach Alexis, and I'm excited to have a successful Indiana business owner with us today. We have Martin George with LTC Language Solutions, which has seen steady growth since its founding in 1993. We are excited to hear a bit about his journey. Okay, Martin, let's start with introducing yourself. Please tell us a bit about your personal story.
Yeah, my name's Martin George, and I did grow up in southern Indiana. And my personal story started really the son of an immigrant that came to the United States from Austria. And I was very, very interested and passionate about language and language acquisition, which led me to pursue higher education. You got a master, I got a master's, PhD in language education, and opportunities just abounded. So this has been a long time. You said 1993. I don't think I'm old enough to have started it in 93. You must have somebody else.
Okay, well, you're here, not someone else now. So,
Oh,
so tell us how your business came about, and at what point did you have the confidence to that you could run your own business?
I still don't have the confidence that I can run my own business. And I hear that to be true about a lot of entrepreneurs and people who start business. We often we're very insecure, and maybe that's a good and a bad thing. But I was a professor at Indiana University, IUPUI in Indianapolis, and a lot of the companies around the area, Lilly, Roche, Dow, Cummins, Thompson at that time, we're sending a lot of their impats and expats to Chicago to do language and cross-cultural training as they tried to integrate them into their English-speaking workforce. Again, this was 1992 now. Um, and so I took a lot of those calls and I thought, what a shame that Indianapolis doesn't have some place for this kind of service. And so I went to the dean of the School of actually Liberal Arts English department and said, we ought to really do something. We ought to really help these companies and keep the people here so that we can help them develop language. They said, not interested. I went back 3 months later and said, well, what if I do this on my own after hours or, after I go to sleep at night? And they're like, yeah, that works.
Very proactive, and you solved a big problem there. So tell us about your company name and how do you help people? Like when people come look to talk to you, what are they looking for and how do you help them?
So our official company name on the GSA schedule is Language Training Center. We rebranded maybe 15 years ago, maybe even 20, and we came with LTC Language Solutions because we do more than language training now. We do written documents, so written translation, oral interpreting, and we could do phone, video, conference, face-to-face, and then we do cross-cultural training. And so really language training center, people thought, oh, we teach languages, which we do, but we rebranded so that we would be broader.
Ah, okay. And so since then, and since all your expansion, what has been your biggest learning as a business owner?
Wow. Listen to your customers and don't do everything they say.
Okay, do you want to say more about that?
Well, I think, people like one-stop shops and people want to go and get everything. For example, we had a client, Roche, actually, they bought a company, Ventana in Arizona, and they bought another company, Genentech, in California. A part of language training and doing global mobility or employee relocation, they do something called destination services. Destination services is house hunting, finding schools, and it's really helping people get resettled into the cities they're moving in the United States or overseas. We had no expertise or no interest in that, and so we stuck to our linguistic ability. So sometimes I hear companies trying to do everything and be all things to all people. We didn't have the pricing models, we didn't know our competitors, we didn't know the landscapes, and so we've been very successful staying with what we do know and what we believe and what we're passionate about.
Awesome. It's great to hear it. So what do you attribute your growth to after all this time?
I think, again, like almost contradicting the last question, we do diversify. So even under interpreting, we have, like I said before, phone. So we can 24/7, we have somebody available in 300 languages where somebody can call into our phone bank and they can get someone in their native language between 10 seconds and a minute. They will be
Wow.
connected with somebody who speaks that have been vetted, HIPAA compliant, vocabulary. And so we didn't have that. We've only had that capability for about 8 years. So prior to that, obviously, when we started, we did all face-to-face appointments. Now we do the phone, 24/7 instant access, we call on demand. We also do virtual, where somebody can schedule it with our platform. We didn't do conferences. We started conferences about 10, 12 years ago, where we have the UN style of interpreting, where we have headsets and transmitters, booths, and we go on site. So we did look at opportunities. We're within our, sort of our fingerprint and our capabilities, and we responded to those. And then we grew within those sort of verticals, and then so you have to look at verticals, and then you have to look at services. And so government became a big part of what we do also. Once we got on the GSA schedule, government agencies are allowed to purchase from us and really use any of our services, because you have a couple of GSA schedules for translation and interpreting is one, language and cultural training is another. And without doing an RFP, they can buy our services because those prices have been negotiated. Now, I will say it took us 2.5 years to get on the GSA schedule, so it's not for the faint of heart, and you got to work very, very hard, and there's a lot of compliance.
It does sound like a lot of hard work and compliance. It also sounds like a really fun company to run.
It is, it's very, very, very interesting. I tell people I have the best job because, I've been to John Cena's house and taught him Chinese. I've also helped deliver babies in Chinese in Indiana and all of our hospital systems at Community and St. Vincent as a Chinese linguist. And so we really care about our clients. We want to help them to have access to education, healthcare, legal system, get their children in school. And so if you come to another country, you may be a doctor, a lawyer in your own country, but coming to a new culture and country, you have some gaps linguistically and culturally. So we help them to succeed, and we hope very quickly.
So you get to help people succeed. You get to make a difference that you can see on a regular basis. You do have a lot of compliance. You do have a lot of hard work, and you've learned and you've grown a lot over time. So, what do you think, with everything you've experienced, what do you think are some common misconceptions about running a business?
That you can maybe make your own schedule, have your own free time, that you can set your hours and days and times. Really, the question could be rephrased to run a successful business, because I really do believe even into whatever year we're in, 2024, people still want to know that they can count on us. That I think there's more fraud and abuse and,
Mm-hmm.
everything going on. People want to know that you're available, that you're knowledgeable, that you're reliable, that you have what they need and that you can deliver it. People are always priced sensitive, but they still want to connect with you, real people doing real things who have expertise in that field.
So, for you, being available is the one of the best ways to help the people that you work for.
Yeah, and so it is a misnomer that you can, open a company and go play golf when you want to and take off when you want to. I wouldn't recommend that. I think if maybe you have passive income and you have other, forms. I know a lot of people are influencers and a lot of people have revenue coming in. Great, that may work. If you're going to do a service industry, I think you got to be available.
That makes sense. Well, as you think about the next 1 to 2 years, what would you say is your number one challenge or your number one focus area for achieving your goals?
I think it's having talent, whether it's contractors or employees. Talent is trained, available linguists, teachers, translators, interpreters who have the professional skills And professional skills are not only language, but that they show up on time and they have the dress that would match a professional setting. So we've seen a lot change since COVID, and that's the biggest thing. We didn't really deal with somebody being late and dressed inappropriately pre-COVID, but now that COVID's come, it's hard to get people to go on site and to be ready for those appointments. So we do a lot of coaching that way.
That sounds like something that requires some focus. So, looking at your business, looking at everything you've learned, looking at all the ways you've grown, what advice do you have for business owners trying to do things without help from others?
I think you need help from others. I think getting coaches, I think getting experts who can give you guidance. I would say, the best advice is don't shy away from people giving you advice. Take all the advice, take all the mentoring, and don't expect it to come overnight. You have to plod away. You have to be resourceful enough to know you hit home runs, but even the best home run hitter only hit like 70, 75 in 1 year, and they still probably had 200 strikeouts. So I hear a lot of people who go into business and they want to make a big splash in the first year or second year. I think you have to be more realistic. You have to get input and coaching and background and guidance, and then have patience.
Awesome. Well, Martin, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you for being on the show. Please tune in to the Indiana Business Spotlight podcast to hear stories of other business owners.
Thank you.